But first, let's do a coffee ASMR. Hello, my name's Kathy and I like to read, and welcome back. If you've made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate you watching. Welcome to my first book haul. I am surrounded by unopened boxes, recent hauls, subscription books, so I'm just going to open them up. Some of them will be new reveals to me. I've not seen what they look like, and some of them were ones I was dying to get my hands on. I went and got a stand for my mic because I just thought this is going to be insufferable without it. Let's open some book mail together. I will start with Waterstones, which is my favourite place to get books from. So the first book I picked up was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is the one with the alternative dust jacket, and it's also signed. I have been looking for this one in particular with the alternative dust jacket for a while. I read this back at the beginning of this year and the end of last year, and I really enjoyed it. I've pre-ordered Brimstone already. I was actually supposed to go to the Callie Hart Leeds event, but unfortunately it got cancelled and I can't go to the rescheduled one. So instead, because I booked the day off, we literally only just found out just before we were about to go to Leeds, and instead we went to a different Waterstones. We went to the Liverpool one, and out of all the Waterstones I've been to in like the northwest area, the Liverpool one is my favourite. It had the Akatar display on, the Night Court Valaris, and it was really fun, really nice and magical. But it was a really good Waterstone selection. I really highly recommend if you're ever about to go and visit it. It's got 2 floors, it's got a cafe, it's got everything. And because the Callie Hart event in Liverpool was also cancelled, they had extra copies of these around. And also, I got a Shadow Daddy tote bag. This would have come with an evening with a Callie Hart ticket, but the Liverpool store had some extra, so I picked up that as well. So let me show you the Quicksilver book. Reversible dust jacket. There's Kingfisher, the naked hardcover, and the end pages. Part of me is a bit gutted that they've changed the covers because I've pre-ordered Brimstone and now my 2 copies won't match, but I really like the indie cover of Quicksilver in particular, so I knew I wanted to collect that one. However, I've just seen they've also come out with another limited edition, special edition of Quicksilver, and it looks really good. I can't have another copy. I can't do multiple ones. Can I? I'm not going to explain what Quicksilver's about because I don't do a very good job at that, and I'm not just going to read the blurb. Really happy to finally have this trophy book. The next book I picked up was F8 Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride. I've seen this on Instagram, TikTok, BookTube, but I actually do not know what this is about other than Scottish. Let me read the blurb. Yeah, I really didn't get much from the synopsis. It sounds like it's got Scottish lore in it and it's got dragons. Let me be a bit more succinct and actually Google what this is about. So this says, to become the first queen in centuries, a powerfully blessed blacksmith must use her wits and fire magic to overthrow the corrupt powers ruling her kingdom, while also fighting her growing desire for one of her dragon-riding adversaries in this first book of a sizzling Celtic-inspired fantasy romance duology. Ooh, a duology. This sounds like a good fantasy romance Celtic dragon. Everyone loves dragons. I think like dragons are just so popular nowadays. Does it have a map? Yes, we have a map. And I've realised that I don't actually hate reading hardbacks. They're actually a lot easier to keep pristine once you take the dust jacket off. Looking forward to reading that. And then the last book I got wasn't actually for me, it was for my partner Jordan, and that is Red Rising, and this is the 10th anniversary special edition, I think. Yeah, so that's why it's gold. I have seen this everywhere at the moment, and he actually picked it all himself. He's just read Sunrise on the Reap and he was looking for more dystopian, and this came up all the time, so let me read the synopsis. And this says, the first book in the explosive Red Rising trilogy, perfect for fans of the Hunger Games, Ender's Games and Star Wars. And yeah, I will see what he thinks about this. I'd like to read this eventually. It's just not high up on my TBR because I'm firmly in my fantasy romance, and the idea of reading anything other than fantasy romance is just not on the cards at the moment. So the next ones I'm going to show you are ones that are from my subscription boxes. I have had a combination of Illumicrate, Forbidden Wing, and then most recently Fairyloot, so I'm really excited to be off the Fairyloot list. So the Forbidden Wing pick is A Steep and Savage Path by J.J.A. Harwood. I will show you the cover first. The sprayed edges, and it does wrap around. Ooh, till undeath do them part. That is on this end page. A letter from the author. Now I won't lie to you, I've not read any of my Forbidden Wing boxes. Teehee. They've just not been high up on my TBR, so let's have a look, see what this is about. So I won't read all of it, but it says, from the Sunday Times best-selling author of The Thorn Remains comes an enemies to lovers journey to the underworld unlike any other for fans of The Crimson Moth and The Cruel Prince. An immortal vampire, a mortal bride, a vow that even death can't break. Irina is about to be married to a dead man. This actually does look really interesting. I think I was going to skip it before this book, but then I was quite intrigued by this. The only thing that gets me with the Forbidden Wing boxes is that why are they smaller than a regular hardback? So they're bigger than a paperback, but they're smaller than a hardback, so it's just a bit of an awkward side. That is my Forbidden Wing book for me. So my Illumicrate May pick was A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayinde. This is what it looks like. And then the sprayed edge. And it does wrap around a bit. This is the naked hardcover. And on the back. And these end pages are insane. This one is clearly stunning. In the kingdom of the Nine Lands, only warriors of noble blood can summon their ancestors to fight with them in battle. But when Time, a commoner from the slums, accidentally invokes a powerful spirit, she finds it could hold the key to ending this centuries-long war. But as secrets long buried come to light, Time will learn that not everything that can be invoked is an ancestor, and some of the spirits can be drawn from the ancestral realm, are more dangerous than anyone can imagine. Do you know what? That is so much more intriguing than what I first thought. Originally I wasn't particularly interested in it, but I think that sounded really good. So yeah, this is the Illumicrate pick. And then I was so excited for this. So I managed to get off the Fairyloot waitlist in time to get The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. And this is stunning. So let me just show you. Then we've got the sprayed edges. And it wraps around. So that's the dust jacket in full. Naked hardcover. These end pages are stunning. The foiled edges. I love the gargoyle. I said this looks like a Tim Burton character, and I think I'm right. I've seen this book hyped everywhere. I've not managed to read anything by Rachel Gillig so far, and I would like to get a feel for her writing by reading the Shepherd King duology first, so I will go into that, but I'm so happy that I've got this. I'm not going to read the synopsis on this because I would like to go into it quite blind. So all I know is that the main character is called Sybil, and she is a diviner, which means she can predict the future, and there's a knight in it, and a talking gargoyle. And apparently it's got some great comedic parts, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Okay, so let's get into some book parcels. So the first two that I have are from Waterstones, and I know what these are because I ordered these. And if you'd watched my reading wrap up and June TBR video, you'll know what one of this is, so let's get into it. Wow, they have packed this in. Oh, God. Waterstones, why would you do that? Oh, because they've packed it in, she's a little bit wonky. I'm sure that'll straighten out. So I got Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rorick. I have seen this being raved about everywhere, and I'm really excited to start reading this. This was one of my TBR jar picks. Oh no, low battery. My camera was showing low battery sadly, so I've just had to go and plug it in, so apologies if I've moved slightly. I'm really excited to read Lady of Darkness and the Legacy series. I'm not entirely sure what this is about, and as I mentioned, I like to go in with my books blind. I think this is something to do with an assassin, which gives me very like Throne of Glass vibes. And I will be reading this in June because it's on my June TBR. So apologies if things have changed. My camera battery was dying, so I've gone and done my food shop, come back, so things are slightly a bit different, so apologies for looking a bit more dishevelled. I think where it's cut off was that the next book I bought is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I really want to read Brando Sando. I think it's such a sorry, the cat is flopping. I think he's such a pivotal part in the fantasy space, and I really want to read his writing. However, I'm not ready to get into the Cosmere and the Mistborn and all of that when I'm really into my fantasy romance. It would be a good epic fantasy series to start. However, I thought I would start by dipping my toe in, just a little. And I've heard that this is a really good starting place. I think you can read this in any order. I saw a girl's reading order on TikTok and I screenshot it. I can't remember what she's called, but that will be the reading order that I get to. at some point. So it says here, the only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride, a disaster strikes. Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death? This gives me like whimsy fantasy vibes, and I read Watermoon not too long ago, and it was a nice like little change of pace to my regular fantasy romance stuff, so this will be really good. I'm really excited for this. Really excited to start reading Brando Sando. The next one we've got is a really exciting one. This is my first Lilac Libary subscription, and I know what this is because they love doing spoilers, and I've had a look in advance just because I'm not bothered about getting to see stuff earlier. I'm excited to see it. That's why I want to know. Let's get into this. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's really cute. Lilac is my favourite colour, so obviously I've resonated with this book company. So we've got a little synopsis. Oh, that's really cute. Oh, I like that. This is really well packaged. Really, really well packaged. Do you know what? I like this a lot more in person because I saw it online, and I won't lie. That eye is creepy. And the colour palette online wasn't exactly for me. I thought it was a bit too... So let's start by... Let me start from the beginning. So the book is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. I have not read anything by Carissa Broadbent, but I know this is part of the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and it's a set of duologies with, I think there's a novella and a standalone mixed in the middle of it. When I saw that this was going to be the pick, I was kind of umming and ahhing because I don't have the other two copies of the Lilac Libraries, and they're really lovely. There's like a purple one and a blue one with the same matching like sprayed design. I'm going to keep hold of it for a bit until I decide what to do. I'm not going to read too much into the synopsis because I know it's part of a few duets, but the Crowns of Nyaxia series, I believe, is vampires in a fantasy romance setting. That's as far as I know. So I was a big Twilight fan growing up, like massive, loved it, probably was my biggest obsession. However, since then, I've not been able to go headfirst diving into vampire fantasy. There's a lot of books where vampires end up being incorporated along the way, but I didn't go into it knowing that that's what it was. That's just something that I personally need to get over. That and the fact that Carissa Broadbent's writing doesn't seem to be for everyone. So we'll see how I go with this. But yeah, this is stunning. And let's show the rest. This is the dust jacket. Oh, and I like that. I like they've done the original on the other side as well. So a little quote I'll say is, this is a tale of how a chosen one falls. She does it screaming, clawing for her old life with broken fingernails. She does it slowly over the course of decades, and in the end she takes the whole forsaken world with her. So this is the naked hardcover. End page. Whatever that dog thing is makes me think of Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. Crowns of Nyaxia novel, The Shadowborn Duet, book 1 it says here. Oh, interesting. We've just got a little map just there. Yeah, I am excited. So I think this is a quarterly subscription. I don't think the next one will be until September because I think this is technically the June box. I am really happy to have this in my collection because I think it is really nice, and then that means that if I really, really like the series, I could go and try and collect the other copies so they're all matching. So at first, even though I thought the colour palette wasn't for me, I do really like this copy. I think it's lovely in person. The eyes are a bit creepy, but I'm guessing it makes sense if you read the book type thing. So that is my Lilac Libary book subscription. So the last one we've got, She's a Big Un, and as you can maybe see by the writing, this is from Illumicrate. All of these are bubble wrapped, so bear with. This may take a while. So in that big box with these are the 10th anniversary special editions of the Wicked Lovely series. I'm going to put these down because these are all quite heavy. So I'll just hold the first one up to explain this series. So this is the Wicked Lovely series by Melissa Marr. It looks like there's there's 6 in the series. However, I'm pretty sure I only got up to about the 4th one when I was reading them. I was a teenager when I read them, and it was my first introduction to the fairy world. But these fairies are more like the cunning, conniving, scheming fairies that is more in like a fairy tale sense. And as far as I remember, this follows a girl that can see them when she's not supposed to be able to. I've just done a little quick read of the synopsis, and I forgot it has like courts in it, so it's very like ACOTAR-esque. I think it's got a kind of like love triangle in it as well, or something to do with her best friend. Yeah, I really enjoyed this series, so I'm really excited to reread this. I think it'll be a great like palette cleanser in between some of the darker, longer ones, because they're not particularly long. As much as I usually am very much read your special editions, these ones I might not read, and I might go and get my old copies out the loft and read those instead. But so let me show you the book. So this is the cover. It's fine. And then we've got these sprayed edges. They're on the simpler side, but I think because there's so many and they'll be next to each other, I think they'll look really good all together. The naked hardcover, and it's the same on the other side. Yeah. We've got an end page. This guy gives me like emo vibes. He's got like piercings and stuff. This was probably my first introduction to this type of MMC. And look at that foiling on the edge, that's lovely. Yep. And it's signed, so I'm guessing every single book will be signed. Completely forgot about that. Then I'm guessing that the last one is a... Oh, that's lovely. It's a different end page. I thought it would be the same. Wow. That's stunning. Yeah, so I'll read the synopsis that it says on the first book, and then I won't do it with the rest because they'll be part of the series. So it says, Rule 3, never stare at invisible fairies. Aislinn has always seen fairies. Powerful and dangerous, they walk hidden in the mortal world and would blind her if they knew of her sight. Rule 2, never speak to invisible fairies. Now fairies are stalking her. One of them, Keenan, who is equal parts terrifying and alluring, right, is trying to talk to her, asking questions Aislinn is afraid to answer. Rule 1, don't ever attract their attention. Now it's too late. Keenan is the Summer King and is determined that Aislinn will become the Summer Queen at any cost. Without her, summer itself will perish. Suddenly, none of the rules that had kept Aislinn safe are working anymore, and everything is on the line. Her freedom, her best friend Seth, her life, everything. And then we have ink exchange. What is it with eyes? So we have the naked hardcover, the end page. I feel like the back of this one is slightly damaged. I don't know if you can see. This end page. Feels like somebody's really folded that back. I might talk to the team about that. The next one we have is Fragile Eternity. And the sprayed edges. I don't remember these beings. What are they? Obviously they look like there's mermaids, but what is the other one? That's beautiful. So what I really like about these is I really like the art style of the faces, because usually I'm not a massive fan of fan art. One, I like that it's not on the cover. The covers are really nice because they're very seasonal and foiled and everything. I do like the style of this character art more than other ones I've seen. And then we have Radiant Shadows. And then the sprayed edge. Again, more eyeballs. The naked hardcover. Oh, this one's a bit battered. Can you see? And again, it's got a weird it's not sticky, but you can just see it. It's got that on the back. Anyway, the end page. Do you know what? Yeah, that's fun. And this end page, that's lovely. Again, I might talk to the team about this one because it's a bit battered. Oh yeah, you can see on the dust jacket it's battered as well. Darkest Mercy. The naked hardcover. The first end page. The second end page. This is lovely. This is stunning, this one. I'm probably saying that about every single one, aren't I? This is stunning. This is lovely. This is beautiful. But they are. They're all really nice. And then this is the one I have no recollection of, so I'm not sure what happened with this one. Oh, it's a prequel. Ooh, that's fun. So this is Cold Iron Heart. And then the sprayed edges. The naked hardcover. The end page. And then the second end page. Is that a man on his knees? Hilarious. So those are my Illumicrate special editions. I'm gonna see how I feel. One of them is a bit battered, so I might try and get that replaced. And that's it for my haul. I've realised I'm gonna have to tone it down a bit with the book subscriptions, because I'm getting a lot of lovely copies, really nice special editions, but some of the books I'm just not interested in reading, and especially now that I'm on the Fairyloot one, which was like the gold standard one that I'm really happy that I've got onto. Don't get me wrong, I would still love to be on the other Fairyloot ones, but I'm happy with my adult subscription for now. I'm going to tone it down a bit because I would like to collect more books that I already love rather than having me read them for the first time as a special edition. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Why can't I film a video without there being issues? I need to make sure that my camera is not overheating, everything's charged, I've got all of what I need. So hopefully none of this footage will have corrupted and I won't have to refilm.